Looks like everything is working. So we're metamorphosizing from a caterpillar into a butterfly. It was in our developmental program. It's in our DNA. 2020, the revelation. So I thought I'd just put a few these concepts together. It seems to be there's a lot of stuff on the light show. We're manifesting on the cave wall, and it can go a lot of places. But there's the key revelation is that it is a projection. Everything that you experience in your life is you. There's nothing that's separate out there. It's not within you. There's nothing within you that's not out there. Um, I know I posted the other day, like it was just 3 months ago. I was scared. I was a scared little kid in that cave, man. I was like, damn, what is this? And it forced me to just sit with it until I could understand what it is. That's what it took for me to get over that hump. Like, so, and now here I am. Like, now that I know what it is, I'm dreaming up creative ways to goof on the people that are still believing it, because it is fun to scare people, right? So that's sort of the maybe the threshold start thinking of, because now everything I see, like I'm like, that's pretty good. It's kind of funny, like get the shape-shifting aliens coming back, and we could dream up. It's God's mind being creative in ways to scare it, see what it could actually believe. Oh foolish man, what can ye not be made to believe? So there's really actually nothing to be afraid of, because you're in the cave, you're in the FEMA camp, you're protected. Here you can mess up because you can't really hurt yourself, but it's that emotional stuff that's what it's for, to work out that the trauma. I talked about the cyclic family trauma. The best book, the shortest is Drama of the Gifted Child, to see how that is cycled in families. And the key there is that the parent doesn't realize what it's doing to the child, because the child, when it happens to the child, the emotional part gets tucked away. It gets packed into the energy body, until a later time when it can be healed. But in the meantime, before that happens, everything the ego mind does is to wall that off and protect that, because it's a lot of stuff. It's an energy wound that the ego goes out of its way to not deal with, but it is going to affect that perception. That's what the superconsciousness is. It's contained in there. So it's that emotional stuff that stays with the child, and they inadvertently do it to their children. That's the typical, most common cycle there. And I can only say that because that's what I was doing. Every relationship I had, it was the same pattern, because I had my walls, my little house that protected that trauma in there. So anyone that came close for me to love, well, guess what was there? That trauma right there with it, because that's what I was manifesting out there. And when someone got close, I said, how does that feel? Because I wanted them to feel what I felt, that was repressed in me. And you're creating it on the stage. You're projecting that out there in that light show. So the visualization technique was that Hoffman technique, to see yourself. You can take yourself at different ages. And I took myself down to that little boy, and I said, what happened? And you'd mind, the ego remember like the locations and times, but it doesn't remember how it felt, because the emotion is primary, perception is secondary, right? It's already happened. What we're watching out here has already happened. The heart knows before the eye see, because the third eye is aware of that. And I told him I'd start talking back to the third me, and I re-experienced that emotion that I felt at that age, and it was pretty. There's a lot of sobbing in there. a lot of heaving, and oh, and that was 10 years ago. Didn't happen all at once, but then I even did that with my mother, and I took her down through her life cycle until I saw how she got hurt by her father, because he was an alcoholic and kind of embarrassed her, and those were her issues. And but I saw then that, because it's the one life, same life, that I would have done the exact same thing that she did at every stage, every moment in her life. I would have done the same exact thing, because that's how connected it is. Super organism, right? We're just down here as separate, seemingly separate, working that stuff out. And I'll never forget that when I saw my mom next, I had never really noticed it. She gave me a backhanded compliment, a little needle that was directed at her father. But I was represented in her light show, her son, and I said, oh, and then it was one of those eternal moments. I was like, before I would have just shut down. I was really good at just shutting down all that stuff, because I had to protect my walls of that house. But then I was like, well, what else? I felt compassion for her, because I had felt her pain that she had went through in her experiences with that. I was like, well, wow, that's a little better way to go about things. It took me a few more years to actually more fully integrate it into the type of relationships that I was having, to no longer need someone to feel what I've had to repress, because I got in there and I did it, a lot of times I would just go through that visualization technique, and this stuff's all coming out now since 2020. Sari's got that group. It's a lot of visualization techniques, because now we remember we got that third eye. Every video I watch, it cuts out. I know. We need the 5G zone. Well, hopefully it's coming through. It looks all good on my end. So, but I mean, that's why I know that that's a part of the healing process, is to go down there and get what that was in your energy body to heal it. It also came to me that everything it's all alive, and so everything that's going on, increasingly difficult to go about projecting that out there, that there's something out there that's doing anything to you, right? No one is doing anything to anyone, much less a warrior. That's Don Juan. I read that a long time ago. I didn't know what it meant, but now it makes sense. Only you can do anything to you, but also you're the only one that can. Seems to be the same pattern. I start out there, but for some reason it works in here. So let's see. Yeah, I shaved. Can't hide this pretty face from you guys. It's just not fair. Just mix it up. It's just right personas. It's a role. Right? You're an eternal being. We take on roles to play the game. So yeah. Shaving sucks though. I mean, gotta shave every day. If I don't shave, I look like a convict or something. No, I saw that they're loosening the rules on convicted felons. That they can't get jobs. Well, but there's not enough people to do the jobs now. Someone told me that the other day. Oh. So the electric light show, like, you would think it would be like a logical, rational, things make sense out here, right? That's how we play the game, but that's not what's going on out here. It's an emotional, symbolic realm. Everything in it is a symbol from the superconsciousness to communicate parable, right? Reflected in that mirror. So it all means something else, really. And we just get to play it and say, oh, that's out there, this is that. But no, that's not the way this goes down at all. So I had a recent experience. My mother and sister, they moved to Springfield. There's my mom's house, and my sister's she's not keen on me being in that house. I'm like, well, why? And but now I know. I figured it out. what it represents to her. It was that theme that, like, get out of here, I will get you out of here. Because she has not gone and done that work. She hasn't made peace with her parents for what we went through. Because we were right there at the same stage doing that. And so that's what that house represents. Those are the walls, and then the trauma's inside. And, the key. It's always about that key to get in that door and get into that trauma. The ego's still protecting that. So my thought, rational, I'm still thinking rationally. I thought, well, why don't I just stay here and clean, take that part of my labor, because that house needs some cleaning. It hadn't been touched. And I just threw myself into it for a week, man. Just busted my ass. And I was coming up with some pretty good ideas, to turn it into an Airbnb for a while, take that money, remodel the kitchen, turn it into a bed and breakfast. And it even gets better yet, because my mom's husband, my stepfather, was an All-American basketball player at Ohio State. He's got all kind of regalia, trophies, plaques. I mean, cool stuff. And my mom just is such a unique decorator in there. Like, everyone's ever been in a house, they're just like, wow, this is a really neat place. It's just different. And then turn it into a actual historic place. There's a Thurber house in German Village for an author who was sort of famous in the 40s and 50s. You haven't read any of his books, but you get that historical, label, and now it's, the Freeman House, Robin Freeman, All-American basketball player at Ohio State. We get $500 a night for people coming in because it's something different, And sports guys are, they love that stuff. And so I was just daydreaming, and now we might be buying a new project, and I was so excited, and but no, that's not what's going on, right? Because it's just all symbolic of that. And, it happened a year ago. My sister changed the locks on the house I was staying at there. Changed the locks on the house, and she found some reason to get triggered. That was triggering that trauma. That's what you can do in the cave, that light show. And sure. And my heart knew it as it was getting ready to happen, because it knows before. And she just came over, all thug style, in her snit. Get out of here! Started grabbing stuff off of the wall, taking Robin's stuff, and it's just a total nightmare. And I was the greedy one. I went behind her back. I was doing all this stuff to her, and my offer was basically, Molly, you don't have to do anything except sit back and collect money. Sounds like a pretty good offer to me, I would think, but nope. That's not what's going on in the projected show. It's symbolic of her trauma. Those are her walls. That's her house. And she asked me, is the key in the mailbox? I was like, after all that happened, I was like, fine, I'm done. I'm out, I give up. And, but yeah, 4 times. Is the key in the mailbox? It's the key in the mailbox. Right? That's symbolic of, is she can continue to protect that her wound. That's what that house symbolizes in her energy body. I mean, that's all it could be. And then when I went over today, just to get the last couple things, and there's a sign on the front door, like, this premise. I didn't read it, but some cannot be occupied. And but I'm like, well, that's good. Now anyone walking down the street will know that, oh, there's nobody in that house. There might be some antiques in there, and well, that's a good idea. But see, that's what happens when you're acting out of that emotion that's being projected out there. You don't make the best decisions for you. So is that what's best for Mom and her house? Hey, her son could clean it up and turn it into a thing, But her brother wanted something, and it must be all about her. She took a personal offense at something on the show because she hasn't dealt with that. So yeah, I don't know where that is. I'm just like, hands off, because that's on me too. You got to guard your court. Someone's going to try to project something up in there. But whatever you see out there on that set, that's what's in you. You see something out there you don't like, that's what's in. Good. Okay. That's that part of your energy body, super consciousness. That's what's guiding that projection, that you can get triggered because you're trying to find out about itself. It's interested in itself. Uh, if there's something out there that you do like, that's something you like in yourself. That's what this energy light show works. You know, yep. The irony is that she sent me like 1,000 videos about narcissism, but somehow she's expecting me in my life and how I go about my life, that's going to solve her issue. Does anything ever really get done like that? No, because we know you have only place you can do it is within yourself. That's it. Everything else is, you know. So expecting me to do something in my life is never going to help her, right? Because you can only do that yourself. So that's a big revelation, I'd say. But now, as we're becoming more aware of how that works, you are responsible for whatever you think you've seen out there. That's telling you about you, because you're the God projecting that. So, are there those type of people? It doesn't matter to me anymore. Or you just be the good person that you are. That's your world. That's your life. You know, that's what you've seen in people. I'm still working it out. Like the things that bother me. I was like, well, is it the goo? Like I just don't like goo, like gummy stuff. I just want to clean it. Well, is that an energy issue in me? I'm still working on it. I don't know why. I'm like, it just drives me nuts. I just want things clean. So that's where that one is. It's so refreshing, though. I saw a couple, you know, like Rob Shoden, or I don't know how you say his last name, but that Christ Energy 33 frequency. I was like, well, is that really real? But yeah, it is, because it's your cells. Your one cell is the same thing as this entire realm. It's a fractal pattern, right? And he has that. He knows that. And someone came at him with a little bit of that 783 cowbell. Oh, get up, whatever they said to him. And I saw like 7 comments. I was all excited because you can't beat that one. It's you know, that's outside of the cave. So that child is going to get taught how this is all working. And sure enough, he put it right in there. You know, the entire Old Testament, that is when you were born. Right? It's talking about how did God create the world. That's how did you create your perceptual dome, your Luciferian light bearer dome in those 7 days, those cycles. And they're a fragment or a fractal of your developmental process. Yeah, that is how God created the world. Because that's how you grew and developed your dome. Makes sense. Now that all that Bible stuff doesn't seem so, it's not out there. It's not separate from you. Because it's on the set. And everything in the set is in you. It's in yourself. So yeah, these are big boy steps for revelation. Take responsibility and accountability. Do your inner work, your inner healing, and then that's all you have to offer to the world. And there's nothing else to complain about on the set anymore. Only children can form opinions and try to figure things out there. You'll never come to a conclusion dealing with the shadows. It's not what they're for. As more of us, as this Christ consciousness comes in, as it is programmed into our development, same way like when you hit puberty at a certain age, yep. Well, this is the part of the whole organism. This is its stage. As above, so below. And so you keep hearing this more and more, and we can all heal each other. This is a time to heal all that trauma cycle, doing all that. It just doesn't go on in this stage. It's breaking down. I'm feeling it. I can tell everyone else is feeling it. Hey, Liz, I know well, you know, before I was like, man, nobody's really even listening. So I'm going to stop doing these. And then it dawned on me the other night, I was like, I'm doing this more for myself than for anybody else, because I'll go back and listen to these, in my times of need. It's useful. It's like, that's what I needed. I can't be out there on a light show, like, give me something light show. I'm going to do it myself. From whatever, get that third eye operating, it becomes more influential in what your two eyes are seeing. It's your real teacher. You find a guru out there on the set, a little bit, but that's the real one. That one has all the answers. That's the 9 ball. It's in you. Stay home, stay safe, seek within, and you shall find. You contain every answer in the universe right in there. And that's the only place anything ever actually happens. We can imagine, manifest that things are happening out there, but not really. So there's no, I mean, what a relief. There's nothing else to blame. All you can do at this point is help and instruct and, help them. The life that is in them, that's in you. It's a big realization, right? That's the 33, because the 3 parts are Trinity. Now we know it. All the life here is the same one, right? That's the revelation. So it's a little messy. Got to tear down before you build up. So yeah, we're going through our stages. I mean, I still wake up and like every cell in my body is vibrating. I'm like, what is this? Just buzzing. Like the skin on my feet was just coming off in like, sheets. But that's an elimination, right? So we're just reorganizing our bodies and our minds. Everything's connected for the new world order, the new age. So it's a little, it is what it is. Rough, but you're God and you can handle it. Even when I was so afraid of those feelings I had suppressed, they were so powerful. But that one knows there's nothing that can destroy that, and you're strong enough for it. It's actually preparing us to. It's not even a day. It's you preparing yourself to interact with the new frequencies. Right? It's just we're getting updated so that we can function at that higher level. Those different levels. It's not the 7.83 Earth show forever. This was a chamber, the adrenochrome. It's the kidney chamber of colors, chrome. So if that's in your, whatever's out there on your set, you should just think about it and try to decipher why it's there. Save the children. I needed to save myself. I was a child in the cave scaring myself. I was breaking the law because I was harming myself. Do unto others as you would have do unto you. It's a subtle way I was doing that, but it was definitely going on, and I was harming the other children around me because I hadn't done my inner work. I had not saved the children. Right? It's a trick, but once you get on the other side of that, I'm almost like working for the other side, but it's ultimately out of compassion and love because you're trying to be creative enough to get them to save themselves. That's save the children. It's not some idea, I mean, some of my friends, like, what happens on that set is so detailed to get people to argue and take a side, and it's the superconscious is working itself out, playing with itself down here in it, but it's just going to get increasingly ridiculous by design. So you're going to keep watching that. It was like some kid drove 33 miles to he shot and killed 3, whatever the details were. Someone was screaming shoot me inward, and who did he kill? Oh, they were a pedophile, and then they were talking about other stuff that I just, I'm tuned out of that, because you know what it is. That's, why would you, but yeah, oh my God, I just make my head hurt even trying to figure out, try to form an opinion about who's right and who's wrong. It's designed that way to parse you out, to see where you're at. It's God testing itself. I mean, basically anything that happens in that electric light show at this point is scripted from on high for that test to see if you're ready. You still need to keep watching the shadows, right? And it's going to get increasingly weird as more and more of us tune out of it, because it really needs to get the rest of them. So, and I'm actually working for that, so I'm going to get all of them. So yeah, it'll be over the top. There'll be over the top events, I mean, who knows? So if you find yourself arguing, maybe think about what is the symbol It's all symbols out there. Um, it's like, damn, man. So, you know, because we take our accepted consensus realities, we come into the world, this and this and this, but then it all starts breaking apart, right? You got, Mandela effects, and, none of it makes sense. It's not meant to. The hologram, the message from on high, is that it is a light show. Those laced into the tapestry, or the design, and then the matrix. Eventually, yeah, that time comes that you see it's actually your show for you to enjoy, but you didn't have responsibility to take control of that because you were breaking the law, and you didn't even know what the law was. So everything's in the mind. So 2020, all these changes will be scary for a minute for the ones still watching it, as I was, and but that's where we're at. It's there's nothing. The only thing to really do is stay home and seek within, and you create your own world. And in doing that, you will protect your actual, the Earth children here from that 7-8, that crazy electric light show. It's gonna go nuts and nuts until it forces you to stand up, because you're supposed to, that's the grand design. You are their show, because you have the higher knowledge, right? It's at 9, 6 to 3. Not just threes watching the light show. I mean, that's what. We're just going through that transition. We soul contracted to go through this, to play by all these rules, all the fake history, all the epic. I think I memorized every, like, the Ordovician age when fish crawled up. It's a pretty elaborate thing, but we just needed rules to play for it to make sense for the ego mind. So the ego mind comes online. But emotional, all that stuff is primary. The heart develops before any of the other parts, right? And it's that emotional world in that realm that is coloring. That's what's really going on in the superconsciousness. That's the real ocean of emotions. That's energy in motion. We just didn't know. We were just those two little eyes looking out on the sea, thinking there's stuff out here. We were enjoying the show. We were learning. We were growing. We were developing at a higher level, right? So, I don't even know what else, but someone pointed out in that when they were doing the polio thing too, there was a period there where they were all muzzled up, I said, yeah, so there are things in the script that run. They're in your cells, they're in your DNA, if you want to look at it in there, that run these things. Because it's the body, the super organism, it has an immune system. It's, it has ways to, it's like when you cut yourself, there's things that go in there and do that for you. Your ego mind has no idea what's going on. That's done elsewhere. Same thing in our whole larger realm here. Things are going on that the ego not directly aware of it. It couldn't be. There's no way you could explain to an ego mind what is really going on here. It wouldn't be able to handle it. You can't, because it's eternity. Like, you just take it and be like, well, you're actually manifesting that there's even time. This experience of that there is a sequential thing, right? You have to do that to play the game. That's life, and you agree to it. It's in your soul contract. And we're playing this all together as that part of that design to help each other out here, and then heal, and that to create a new world where just the frequency is changing of the organism, and we're playing our part in that. I think those are the main things I wanted to get off of my chest. Put that out in the Akashic record. It's out there now. Everything's recorded, everything's heard, everything's seen. That all-seeing eye, Big Brother, that's you. That's why you even think of there's a Big Brother, there's a big government, artificial intelligence. That's all you. Everything in that is part of you, the set, the bigger part of you. anything that you might be afraid of, you decipher it. It's a symbol, and sit with it and figure out what it is, and then you can eventually laugh at it hysterically, and then be more creative to even think that you could ever be afraid of that. That's why that it just goes crazier and crazier. Oh, we could make their eyes turn into lizard eyes, and there's no end to children dreaming up scenarios to scare themselves, and it's funny from that side. Outside the cave, looking down, yeah, you know how it is. You could, on a smaller scale, you could do it here. Have children, take them to the haunted house, and they get scared, and you say, "Oh, well, that's your life." Child in that big haunted house, and you're still making fear out there, scaring yourself. So that's on you. That's the next step. I don't really see any other places. There's nothing else out on the set to worry about. Wouldn't think so. And if you're doing that, you're just choosing to do that. You need that tool, those training wheels on your bicycle until you're ready. I mean, it doesn't go away, like that super conscious. You pick something out on the light show, and if that triggers you, that person, and you said, "Oh, it was their fault," and you turn away like it was them. Is that the way it works? Did I get rid of that girlfriend? And no, I just attracted the same exact energy situation because that's what's really going on. And I feel compassion for those who come at me and say, "Hey, you're this and that," because I know they're expressing that within them, and it's them trying to work that out of them. But now we have someone who can help the kid on the little bike ride without the training wheels. I mean, so I feel sorry for my sister because I know she's going to manifest a very similar situation. Someone's going to be doing something to her, and that rage, and it's not going to be a good thing for her overall because it just doesn't work that way. We know that. Is there any other, no, you can't. Someone saw Rob deal with that girl, it was just, my heart already knew because it's not the usual answers that you get that we've gotten so far. Yell at someone and they respond, and that's what you like, that's what you're interested in. That's you in them, and that's that energy part of that they're expressing is what you're trying to work out. That's the way children go about things down here on the set. But at 33 frequency, it knows that, So he just waited, turn it back on her. Not a mean way, right? Because you don't do that now. Everything it's a helpful way. We just didn't know how to be of help because we were responding to people yelling at us or accusing us of stuff, and maybe we were doing something like that. We're participating in that 783 Cowbell show, trying to find out about ourselves. So these are the just sign of the times. These are times we go through for these lives. I think, I saw like the bigger time frame, and I because we're growing younger, we know we don't need to eat. We only eat for pleasure, and so getting healthier. And he might live an actual really long time. Forget about manifesting a physical death. Who even knows what's now? I was like, man, it's the first half, and it's like, nope, first quarter. That's one hell of a first quarter. Like, well, you just weren't ready. We're not. You have to be prepared, right? Our energy bodies are changing to deal with the frequencies. They're changing together, interlocked. Everything's connected. So yeah, you couldn't have had this knowledge then. It just wouldn't make sense. So we'll just keep going through the transmission, crossing the God particle in us, just becoming aware of that bigger life cycle and the stages in it. So this is first quarter intercession period, and so we'll just continually get rewired, and you see a lot of the cross is it's a box, and that's the black box of Mecca, and that it's on the set. Oh, I lost my train of thought there a little bit, but I don't know. It'll come back to me, but whatever. Oh well, I mean, it's a return because when this knowledge is all together as it was before, uh, those are the same. It's the same. There's one universal knowledge of what the spirit is because people know it and it's in them. And at that level, it's impossible to break the law. That spreads. It's got to spread there first. This is the great Noah's flood. It's going on right now. So these are to be expected changes in the patterns that we observe. And you can go back if you want. It's still there when you're ready to see what it is, what you're looking at. That how it transitions, but it's not front and center. Like it wouldn't make any sense. That's what's going on until you were ready. So you had to go through your preparatory stages before these things are revealed. I'm excited. I've never been more excited. I just feel different. I feel like more, alive. Like a sleepwalking. First quarter was sleepwalking. And it was true. Nothing makes sense. Nothing felt right. And I love all you guys. Like, what makes it interesting? Oh, the black box, though. That's what we're dealing with right now. You're looking at me through a black box. That's the other one, another one, right? What in the old cameras? What were they looking through to take pictures? Black box. So these are our black boxes, and we'll grow out of them. This is like the nadir. This is the bottom of the cycle, the Kali Yuga. But in the mirror, we're taught that we're getting more and more advanced, right? It's always opposite. So we've slipped so far down into the artificial intelligence world that we're communicating through these black boxes, right? And through the frequencies, not the direct, high fidelity communication, face to face, the community. Because if we were all together, right? It's like we get in those cars, you get madder than motherfucker in the car. But once you see the person, oh, well, no big deal. I had a couple today, they just sat and waited for 5 minutes. So I'm punished them financially. When I drop them off, I'll just keep driving around. But I talk to them, and I'm just like, nah, whatever. That's the way the world is. So those black boxes you're worried about on there, the real one is the one you're looking at the black boxes through. We're not be mad at the phone. We needed this technology. This is helping me right now because now I got my tribe to share these things with, and that helps me for what I'm trying to in my growth process. So deep. Yeah, well, that's my role. It's the one I picked. Just to see how I went from feeling so like despondent to this, but it's part of the process. You can't appreciate something amazing if you don't know what the opposite is. Everything is in balance. It's just yin and yang. So yeah, you got to go through the valleys to get to the mountain. So the deeper the valley, the higher the mountain. Nothing to be afraid of anymore. So just keep, and it's like love. Just try it out. That's how powerful the mind is. The very first thing that can ever happen is allowing for the possibility. I was like, because I never really felt happy. I never allowed for that possibility. But now I see that there were reasons why I wasn't happy, because the higher one, I knew that there were things that needed to be corrected on the set, because that law was being broken, right? It still is, of course, but the awareness of that and what it is become more obvious here. That's the whole return of Jesus Christ. That's what was put into the children's or books for the children, even the adults in the church. Even the 90-year-old man in the church, that's a child, to learn about what Jesus Christ is for that stage. So yeah, just big love, everyone, and I don't know. We'll see what turns up. I don't know how much longer we'll watch that light show, but I was like, okay, there's the phone. Well, what if we'll make that the trend? Smaller phones, smaller and smaller phones, so they get just right down to there's just a couple little pixels in there that you can fight about. Is that how you turn the light show off? Maybe. Maybe it's in the script. I'll have to go see if I can take a look. Okay, so guard your mind and so you know what you're watching. If it's making you feel a certain way, that's your lesson. You're making that lesson for yourself, right? You're perceiving that. So the emotion is that's what it's all about. That's what's guiding that. So pay attention to how you react to whatever it is you're choosing to look at, for one. And second, choosing to believe in that it's something real. There's nothing real on the light show. It is actually a projected hologram. Just the way God does it. All right, bud. Big love. I'll see you when I see you.